Dear sisters and brothers, welcome to today's edition of Being Heartful Every Day. Like we have been discussing, today is the 100th day. We have come a long way. And we have covered, I will say, about one-fourth or one-third of the whole process, because this is a 365-day program. So welcome again. This is Prasanna Krishna. I'll be facilitating today's program. So before we start, a gentle reminder to everybody saying that please share the master classes to one or two of your associates who are not yet practicing heartfulness, and also share the link to this program, Being Heartful Every Day, with your friends and family of your associates who have been practicing heartfulness. It's important that we spread the awareness of heartfulness. So with this, let's move to the inspirational reading part today. We were here yesterday where we spoke about the need for how taking habits. So we had completed up to this portion here. The first para we had completed yesterday. Let's carry on to the second paragraph today. Take, for example, a person who's too scared to express a difference of opinion in a work meeting, even though they have something valid to contribute. They may have developed a fear of expressing differences of opinion in early childhood because they did not learn to do so in a healthy and respectful way. They kept quiet, agreeing with others in order to stay safe and maintain harmony. We have all fears, attitudes, emotional reactions, and other behaviors because of a past experience. They determine our habits, which is why it takes more than just knowledge to remove them. Why are we not able to be peaceful all the time? One of the most important programs we have wired into our hormonal and autonomic systems is the fight or flight response, also known as the stress response. This activation of the sympathetic nervous system is designed to put us on high alert whenever there is a threat or danger, and so generally overrides our sense of peace and calm. Whether we respond by fighting, fleeing, or even freezing, the associated emotional reaction in us when our consciousness is disturbed are often anger, fear, sadness, self-pity, anxiety, or depression. This is especially true in today's world, where most triggers are not actually life, but are of an emotional nature. For example, a work colleague is a bully, a spouse is insensitive, or a friend disappoints us. If we are to cultivate feelings of contentment, benevolence, and compassion, we need to learn to master our reactiveness to go whatever triggers the stress response. In addition, in our urban environments, the fight or flight response is almost perpetually switched on due to the bombardment of noise pollution, light pollution at night, chemical pollution, electromagnetic pollution, and human thought pollution. So, when our personal challenges and relationship issues are added to these environmental triggers, the baseline of stress that we feel can be overwhelming. In that chronic state, is it any wonder it is so difficult to feel peaceful and non-violent? So, if we are to cultivate feelings of contentment, benevolence, and compassion, we need to learn to master our reactiveness to whatever triggers the stress response. For that, we need to look into our heart in order to respond differently to the triggers. both external and internal. The wonderful thing is that these higher faculties of discernment naturally evolve through heartfulness practices. In a sense, we can say that we rise above our biological drives and function from a higher level of consciousness. We develop greater mastery over the triggers. This transcendence is very much associated with the field of practice of yamas and niyamas. Swami Vivekananda has said it in another way. Man is not to regard nature as his goal, but something higher. Babuji also alluded to the same concept in his statement that in spirituality, we are moving from animal man to human man to divine man. So how will this happen? It starts with the heart. The heart is the balancing midpoint in our system and the seat of the soul. And when we meditate on the heart, gently turning our attention to the soul, we learn to transcend the reactiveness that may happen at the lower levels of consciousness. The lower chakras that are associated with more animalistic, instinctual, no longer govern our behavior. And once we have journeyed through the chakras of the heart region, under the guidance of a true spiritual master, we can say that we have transcended animal man to become human man, mastering our emotions and functioning from a higher plane of consciousness. But the first step is to purify the field of consciousness through which we respond to the world around us by removing all complexities and impurities. When we are burdened with so many subconscious programs resulting from the complexities and impurities, we have accumulated threats. Will always be perceived. Per contra, the purer our consciousness, the greater our level of discernment, it grows up proportionally. When we can rise above reactiveness, when we can pause, the wisdom of the heart can truly guide our responses and decisions. I'll read the highlighted portion again. When we can rise above the reactiveness, when we can pause, the wisdom of the heart can truly guide our responses and decisions. I think we'll stop today's reading and spend some time on what we, as introspecting on what we read today. The master spoke about how we develop habits and how we can avoid developing habits from the flight and the fight mode you mentioned to how heartfulness can bring us to this state where we move from reactiveness to the pause, and the wisdom of the heart can truly guide our responses and decisions. So from being reactive, we move to being responsive and decisive with the pause element. So let's introspect on that. At 9 o'clock, we'll start the universal prayer. So it's getting to 9 o'clock now. Let's get into the universal prayer. We'll continue the universal prayer till about 9:15. We sit with a very prayerful attitude, a heart filled with love, and pray that all brothers and sisters are being filled with love and devotion, and real faith is growing stronger in them. I think more than these actual words, the feeling and the attitude is very important. So let's pray on this, that all brothers and sisters are being filled with love and devotion, and real faith is growing stronger in them. हम अपना यूनिवर्सल प्रेयर के लिए बैठ जाएंगे, बड़ी गहरी प्रार्थना भाव में उसके हम लोग ये प्रार्थना करेंगे कि सभी भाई बहन प्रेम और भक्ति से भर रहे हैं और उनमें सच्ची श्रद्धा दृढ़ होती जा रही है। ये शब्दों के अलावा जो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीज है वो है कि हम अपना भाव और अपना प्रार्थना की एटीट्यूड रहता है ना, वो मेंटेन करना चाहिए। और ये प्रे करेंगे कि फिर से पढ़ूंगा मैं, सभी भाई बहन प्रेम और भक्ति से भर रहे हैं और उनमें सच्ची श्रद्धा दृढ़ होती जा रही है। लेट्स कंटिन्यू आवर प्रेयर टिल 9:50. Thank you. You can gently open your eyes by trying to regain that prayerful attitude within us. Let's continue with the session tomorrow. Thanks a lot for joining us. We'll meet again tomorrow at 6 a.m. We'll close the session with a humble reminder that all of us, let's sit for a bedtime prayer, reflect on the day's activities, see what went well, where we could have done better, did we do any unintentional mistakes, etc. Let's go to bed with that thought and see you all tomorrow at 6 a.m. Thank you and good night.